Initials NJ from Seattle, Washington. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Can you please explain how eating and sleeping too much affects the heart? I am confused as how those two things would/can affect my heart. Jazakallah khair.
Question says, can you explain how eating and drinking can affect my heart? I'm confused. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Questions from, says Seattle, Washington State. The sleep itself doesn't necessarily ruin or harm your heart, the sleep itself. But what happens as a result of the sleep and what you're missing out on through excessive sleep. Allah clearly tells us in the Quran that He made وَجَعَلْنَا نَوْمَكُمْ سُبَاتًا. He made the sleep as a means of rest, as a means of repose, as a means of recharging our batteries and recreating the necessary energy that we need to do what we have to do of the deen responsibilities and the dunya responsibilities. And there are many other ayat in the Quran in which Allah talks about the night and the blessing of the night. And He speaks to the mushrikeen, challenging them. Can you bring a night? If Allah made the day continuous, who would bring nighttime for you to rest? Allah challenged the mushrikeen. He asked them this question. If the daytime was 24/7, who else could bring the night for you to have a break and to take a break, to relax? So nighttime and sleep at night is a ni'mah, is a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. However, just like any other blessing, food, drink, sexual intercourse, too much of it will lead to problems. Some of those problems could be physical, overeating, oversleeping. Some of those problems could be mental. You become addicted to a thing. You become a slave of a thing. I have to eat like this. And you don't have no sabr. And the desire controls you. When your sexual desires are aroused, they have to be fulfilled. Halal or haram. Responsibility doesn't matter, but I need sex right now. Too much of it, it becomes a problem. And the list goes on. But if it's balanced, and if it's channeled, and if it's in the proper Islamic sense, then it's a blessing. It's a blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the same applies to food as we just said. Okay, the stomach is the asl of the desire. The stomach is the foundation of lust and greed and temptation. And that's why when Allah talks about riba, when Allah talks about the wealth of the orphans, when the Prophet talks about silver vessels, gold and silver and things like this, he says, إِنَّمَا يُجَرْجِرُ فِي بَطْنِهِ إِنَّمَا يَأْكُلُونَ فِي بُطُونِهِمْ نَارًا الَّذِينَ يَأْكُلُونَ الرِّبَا نُصُوص كَثِيرٌ جِدًّا. Allah says they only eat. They only stuff fire into their bellies. Because the stomach is the foundation. And that is the expression that's used for how one lives. So this is a very important concept of the stomach and what food leads you to. I have to take riba. I have to stick people up, rob people, sell drugs, kill people, take off my hijab and show my body because I gotta eat. We say what? Gotta eat. Gotta take care of myself. So when a person's desires are out of control, he takes the provision through impermissible means and impermissible ways. So these things have to be kept in line and on a leash, tight leash. You have to be mindful of what you eat and from where you eat and how you obtain that food. Just like the food has to be or should be organic, it should be halal, zabiha. It should also be obtained through lawful dollar bills, pure money, pure wealth. Everybody understand this? And the list goes on. Just like you watch how many calories is in this sandwich, how many sins are in this sandwich. How many orphans right now in this poor third world country are starving in the street, fighting each other over chicken bones if you have your big fat juicy steak. This is a reality that many people live. Your luxury comes at the expense of someone suffering in this island. They have muddy water to drink when you're in a high-rise condo in Manhattan eating shrimp and lobster. And that's unfortunate in the modern world today as we live. So you have to be mindful of what you eat, and how you obtain that food. So therefore, too much sleep, too much food, perhaps it will lead you to being heedless and forgetting. When people sit down, they like to drink, and they like to laugh, they like to listen to music, they like to have fun. That's why all nice restaurants have alcohol. All nice restaurants have some type of music. Everybody understand this? This is not the case or not? You're not going to go to a high-end restaurant except there's some type of entertainment, a mandolin, a harp, some type of smooth jazz in the background. People, they want to relax, they want to feel good. And in most cases, they're not talking about the dhikr of Allah when they're eating. They're not talking about the akhirah. They're not thinking about these things. They're thinking about laughter and joke and mockery and this and that. So these things are means of their door. And they may lead to you letting your guard down and the shaitan pouncing on you. That's what's meant. That is what's what? That is what's meant. But the sheer act of eating permissible food or sleeping at night is not haram, nor necessarily disliked. But too much of it is a different story. Last but not least, in this summarized answer, is that you may read certain athar, Imam Shafi'i, this companion, this person, this tabi'i, he wouldn't eat for days. He would fast until his tongue turned black, until his tongue turned green. These narrations, what are they? The best guidance is the guidance of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Muhammad drank fresh milk when he had it, and he also had dates and water. Muhammad was fond of mutton. He ate mutton. He had a favorite part of the lamb, of the goat. He liked it. He enjoyed it. And when he didn't have any food, he didn't have any food. Narration said he had rocks tied around his stomach. When the Prophet had it, he enjoyed it. And when he didn't have it, he was patient. So the best guidance is Muhammad's guidance. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam died with 9 wives. He was not a monk. He was not a hermit crab. He was not a eunuch. There's not a monastic lifestyle. Oh, I don't want to marry no woman because Fulan from the Salaf, he didn't get married. And Fulan, he did like this and he prayed 40 nights and he heard the Quran. That's not Muhammad's guidance. That's not the guidance of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Muhammad was the most perfect and simple example. Eat, drink, sleep, work, worship. Class. Simple and easy. So you have to be mindful of this. You're going to read, last but not least, as I said, you're reading many, many books that I thought of these imams. And they did this and they did that. That's not Muhammad's guidance. Muhammad did not fast until his tongue turned black and green. Muhammad did not pass out and die in the salat because he heard the Quran. That's not what the Prophet ﷺ did. That's not what he did. He did not do that. So that's the proper way of understanding the different narrations that you read in Ibn Rajab's books, or Ibn Qayyim's books, or Ibn Taymiyyah's books. You read these narrations. Ibn Umar did that, Fulan did that. Muhammad ﷺ did not do that. Wallahu alam.